Hello everyone, and happy holidays and happy new year. My name is Fiona and I am, of course, one of your co-hosts for the DM's Book Club, a podcast where we talk about some Dungeons & Dragons and how we might implement them in our role-playing campaigns. So, we're currently on a break due to the holidays and other bits and pieces, and hopefully we'll be back soon. But, to tide us over till then, I thought I'd share with you something a little special. Listeners will know that I have never really ran a fully homebrewed D&D session. And what I mean by that is a session where everything in it, the characters, the setting, and the story, is something that I have written or come up with myself, and not from a pre-written module. Well, thanks to this podcast and to Ryan, our other esteemed co-host, I was able to create my own original setting from scratch back in episode 21. Holder on Hill. As a way to say thank you and to round off our year as a podcast, I would treat both Ryan and two of our regular guest hosts, so Sam and David, to a holiday-inspired one-shot. And this two-parter episode is the results of that one-shot. I hope you enjoy it as much as I enjoyed running it, and just to finally say thank you. Thank you so much to everyone for supporting us during this last year. It really means the world to us, and honestly, we can't wait to see what the next year holds for us as a podcast. So, thank you. So, without further ado, here it is. Here is Holder on Hill, Brawlroom Blitz. Time and again, we hear incredible tales of adventure, valour, and heroism. Stories of unlikely allies, horrific monsters, inevitable betrayals. Stories of love, lost, and hope. This story is not like those stories at all. In fact, this story was never meant to be told. It was considered too scandalous, too outrageous, and just too silly by our scribes. The story we are attempting to retell tonight is, how do mortals say, the vanilla version of what actually happened. A tale which, if there was like a film adaptation of it, it would say, based on or inspired by true events. For the sake of privacy of the individuals involved, and to save a poor DM the embarrassment of getting certain pronunciations of various character names wrong, we are going to do this live. As such, all characters in the story are fictional, as far as we know, and incidents portrayed in this production are fictitious. No identification with actual persons, in brackets living or dead, places, buildings, and products is intended or should be inferred. Okay, so disclaimers out the way. Let's start at the beginning, the way all good stories start. This one begins with a gift. Well, 3 gifts, actually, and the givers behind it. Wait, no. Context. The beginning of a story is good, but the location is more important. That's right, yes. So, our story takes place in the settlement of Holder on Hill, a small town nestled in the snowy mountains of the Boulder Shields. They say if you took a wooden frame from a painting and held it up anywhere around Holder on Hill, the view through that frame would just simply be breathtaking. A frozen snapshot of winter delight. Over the river of mist, where the dwarven children learn to ice skate and have snowball fights, the township is a gentle, idyllic sea of wood and grey stone. Sounds of laughter and joyous conversations fill the air as many a traveller come from all over the Shields to visit the famous Holder on Hill year-round Wintermas market. They are drawn to the smells of cooked meats and cinnamon spices, the taste of warming dwarven mulled wine, and the peculiar sight of trinkets and clockwork toys as local artificers and merchants vie and jostle for the passing trade, in a jovial enough competition of sorts, you see. Here, the locals call out to strangers as if they were long-time friends. Greetings with shouts of, "Well met, good friend," and "Season's greetings to you." And of course, overlooking this scene of revelry and delight is, of course, the Ashenroot Manor House, a 2-story grey and black brick building with gentle turrets and peaks spiralling slowly towards the sky. The place where his lord and lady Ashenroot have presided over this town for the last 100 years. It has been 1 year since the disappearance of Adric Ashenroot, beloved lord of Holder-on-Hill. Rumours have flown everywhere as to the nature of Ashenroot's disappearance, because the disappearance was so sudden, out of the blue even. One day, Lord Ashenroot and his guard left for a daily tour of the mountain boundary and failed to return at sundown. Despite a number of search parties being sent out, no trace of the Lord was ever found. He had no known enemies and was well loved by the people of his estate. It was as if he just walked out of Holder-on-Hill of his own accord and simply vanished. Lady Validia Ashenroot was particularly shaken by this disappearance, as naturally one would if their partner had just left with no note, no message, no goodbye. She has been ruling in his stead and has appointed a council to help with the everyday running of Holder-on-Hill. But those close to her know that she has taken Ashenroot's disappearance pretty hard. While she puts on a brave face for the townsfolk, Lady Validia is found often wandering Ashenroot Manor and its gardens, lost in her own thoughts, her eyes ever so slightly damp from a quickly brushed away tear. Now, it was said that it's been a year, and to mark the occasion and the passing into the official Winterval season, the Council of Holder-on-Hill is holding a midwinter ball with the aim of not only allowing the townsfolk to pay their respects to Ashenroot household, but also to encourage the feelings of the season, of warmth, of light, and togetherness in the coldest and often saddest times of the year. A lot is riding on the success of this ball, not only as a show of strength as a council, but also to bring cheer to those who need it most within the Ashenroot household. And that is where you three come in, my dear council members. You three are in charge of organising this special occasions, and by the gods, you have not disappointed. The ball is being held in the Brawn Forge Ballroom within Ashenroot Manor itself. The ballroom is notable because it was renovated and completed shortly before Lord Ashenroot's disappearance. And now, for the first time, it is being open to the public and being used as its proper purpose. And with that, we will begin our tale on the night of the Midwinter Ball in the Brawn Forge Ballroom. I'm going to describe what the ballroom looks like, and then I'm going to introduce you guys as such. So you see, when you open the doors to the ballroom, these two double oak doors, they open out into a huge long hall, long as it is tall. And whilst the room itself is narrow, along the east side of it, as you're coming in sort of 6 o'clock towards the north, the west side of it has these large crystal mirrors embedded into the wall to give it an illusion of a much larger space. There's an odd door in between them, and sort of like they lead off into private rooms and such. But they are also made of a similar crystal, not to detract from the space. On the east side, on the opposite side and the east side, there are large windows looking out onto a beautiful snow-covered garden with animal-shaped sort of topiary dotted around. This moment in time, it is completely covered in snow and the darkness of the winter night. The entrance to this ballroom is an experience. Like I said, there's two giant carved oak doors in the entrance hall, which leads onto a short sort of stone mezzanine floor, which surrounds and sort of encapsulates this whole floor. And a big stone staircase, 10 feet across, gracefully lowers onto the main dancing floor below. The mezzanine floor is sort of thin enough, but it has groupings of sort of tables and chairs, sort of cabaret style, dotted around so that people could sit and watch the dancers below. And what is noticeable is that on the walls there are 7 different types of painting that have been put there by Lord Ashenroot himself before he disappeared. If you were to look up at the stone ceiling, you see carved reliefs of old dwarven tales watching over sort of various candelabras lighting up the room, the flickering shadows changing their features with every passing moment. The candelabras themselves are an actual marvel because they are covered in so many candles, one could believe it was a fire hazard if the lighting wasn't so obviously magical. The ground floor of the ballroom itself has a slight spring underfoot as you sort of descend down into it. And this is so that the dancers can always have a spring in their step as they take part in the Dwarven Ceilidhs. And you're right, I said Dwarven Ceilidhs. At the far end of the room, you would see, setting up and getting ready to play, a huge, what could only be described as a Dwarven umpire band, playing with different horns, different sort of trumpets, sort of a big sort of tuba at the back, getting ready to play. On the other side, there are sort of dwarven brew bars, like different meads being served out, sort of waiting and tables and such, and a huge fireplace, lit, roaring. The smells of cinnamon and wood and warmth lighting up this room. And definitely as you approach and enter this ballroom, there's certain joy in everyone's heart and a smile on your lips. at this point, you'll have given it maybe an hour or so for people to file in, everyone to have little nibbles and stuff like that. And like I said, most of the townsfolk here are dwarven. So they've all come in their finery and dressed. And it's not necessarily like rags to riches sort of stuff. There's definitely a sense of wealth here. But people are good meaning and well-hearted in this. So they all sort of gathered together. And you do have a little announcer. There's a little dwarven boy, probably picked from one of the other clan households, dressed up to the finest, probably with a really red face, huge, big, rough, little beard starting to come in, has a little trumpet, is very excited to play, and will announce whichever council member would like to go first. So I invite any of the council members to approach and say how they enter the ballroom.
Well, I don't so much enter as I do announce my entrance.
Okay.
I insist beforehand that the doors are closed, but not too much. I want them to just open just a tiny bit, because I intend to open with a swift kick to the doors. And as they fly open, I will have slipped the boy a silver coin beforehand. As they fly open, I want him to start by screaming, "Behold," and then to say my title.
All right, well, you did message me your title, so I will do it. So you probably practiced this?
Oh, maybe. Yeah, I was, before, like a few hours before this whole thing started, I was just kicking the same doors.
Wait, were you kicking the entrance doors, or are you kicking random doors around Holder on Hill?
Both.
Okay, like... maybe a lot of insurance you need to claim back, I guess, on this, but okay. So you hit the doors, like they burst open, even though they were only open just moments ago. The small boy was quickly like shoving people out the way, and it's like, make way, make way. And you sort of hit, and the boy, realizing it's time, gets out the trumpet and goes, announcing Grand Champion Vizier Rurik Boldeck Carlin, Guardian of the Royal Swans!
To which I step forward in large adamantine green plate mail with yellow robes over the top, and stand forward and go, "Hello, darlings."
Make a performance check.
12.
I mean, people do recognize you because you are on the council, and they're like, yay, hooray. One or two dwarven women do swoon a little bit in the front. You don't know if it's for show or because you've paid them to do it. You can't remember which ones you've paid at this point.
I can't.
You can't. And so what are you doing? Are you making your way in? Are you waiting for the others? Or
I am going to head to one of the sort of curtained off sections and ensure that my arrangement is ready for the moment of surprise.
And by arrangement, do you mean your gift?
Oh no, I mean the thing I've arranged for the party.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Do you have your gift with you? Because there is a table with gifts on them. Like
I do. I'm carrying a small black rectangular box with unsurprisingly a green ribbon on the top.
Very nice, very nice. Well, there's a little table, and you can see people have put, mostly it looks like alcohol on a couple of, like, maybe a bag or two, but you think yours is smart enough. It has that green ribbon. It stands out from the other. It does look quite a lot of other people just wrapped it in various sort of parchment paper and whatever they had.
If possible, can I arrange other people's gifts to form a sort of plinth for my gift?
You can. Whilst you're doing that, the next council member arrives between Sam or Ryan, whichever one you'd like to go.
Next into the room comes a very austere-looking, sharply dressed, all in grey and blacks dwarf, followed by a rather demure assistant. This dwarf, as he enters the room, there is a definite coldness around him. He's wearing kind of a lot of iconography that links to kind of the winter and frost. And as he walks in, he looks very sternly towards the announcer.
The announcer, again, that cold hits the little boy, and he's like, announcing Bertram Blunker, Holder on Hill, prosthetic.
Prostetnik.
Bureaucrat, revenue at cognoscency.
Cognoscency.
perpetrator of the tiffs?
Tithes.
The boy says it really frightenedly, right? Not laughing.
Come on, Lloyd. And I progress into the room, shaking my head.
The boy's like really trembling. So people are clapping as well. It's like, oh, Bertram, hooray! Like, no women's swoon for you though, unfortunately. And unless that was your intent. Okay.
Swooning is for weak of constitution.
I see the new arrival and blush.
I realise you did change it slightly, Sam, so I apologise. I should have said the other one, but it's fine.
He would have got it wrong anyway.
Sam, I'm going to need you to change your name.
So whilst you're doing that, Sam, so yeah, there's this sort of figure, this almost sort of, I imagine it's just a person with all angles, essentially, and a beard sort of daily clipped. And people give you space. They are very polite and respectful of you, but compared to sort of the Grand Champion Vazar Rurik, they're not as sort of like, oh yes, that chap, hooray, that sort of malarkey.
Of course, darling. I mean, look at me.
You do see Rurik by the gift table. You see him putting things together. Typical Rurik, has to be the show-off one.
Grand Champion Rurik. How wonderful to
darling,
see.
How are you?
I'm doing efficiently.
Wonderful. It's so lovely to see you. Oh my God, we must do lunch.
Yes, not on expenses, of course.
Oh, Bertie, darling, would I ever do such a thing? Don't answer that.
Bertram, are you going to give your gift? Are you holding it? So what's the plan with it?
I will keep it on my person and deliver it personally.
Super. Cool. As you are both sort of stood there, the final council member arrives. Captain Tova, what do you look like? What are you it's like, yes, tell us, how do you enter this ballroom?
So, with very little ceremony, Captain Tove, who appears in ridiculously elaborate pirate garb, the most ridiculously long jacket that sweeps about 10 feet behind her with far too many buttons, a hat that's about 15 feet wide in places, and then you get through the door. She just comes into the room, ignoring all of the announcers, and you can see all around her waist she has bottle after bottle after bottle of what appears to be rum, sort of put like into various sort of containers around her side, and she just goes, "Hey y'all, Tove's here," and just walks in.
Yeah, the small boy is ready to go and go, Captain Tove! Captain, like, this boy is like clearly heard tales of your deeds and stuff, apparently from the like recent ones where you saved that really drunk elf and the weird not speaking knight, and is completely enamored with you. So it's like it's so like happy that you're here, and everyone else is like, "Oh, Captain Tove! Thank goodness! Hooray! Hooray!"
She bows and then goes shh and hands a tiny little bottle to the kid, and then just like gets to go away.
The kid drops the trumpet and runs like out, not to be seen in this narrative again.
What the kid fails to announce, and what Tove doesn't tell anybody because it's just assumed, is that Tove is the greatly esteemed captain lady of wine, not mulled wine. And specifically, she chose the captain of wine title because she hates wine. And by taking the captain of wine, she can forget to bring wine to every single occasion and fill it up with rum. So you'll notice that across the occasion, the mulled wine has a lot of rum in it, and the regular wine appears to be grog and other bits and pieces that she found appropriate that caused a lot of the serving staff a bit of angst.
Yeah, there's definitely, when people go to drink it, and there's definitely a moment when they go, not expecting it, so their faces screw up, but then they're like, holy shit, they've given us fucking grog. Like, and drinking that. So yeah, you make your way down to the dance floor, and then you see your other two council members there. The sort of the all angles Bertram looking very severe, and of course Grand Champion Vizar Rurik, you know, the Swans guy. They're looking at you as you sort of entered. You have definitely got the biggest applause, I would say, Captain Tove. And the other two, I guess you know of Captain Tove, the way that they have been seized upon this sort of adventure. They are well known as adventurers in your parts, and whether or not you have been adventurers yourselves, it's up to you. But out of the three of you, Captain Tove definitely has been the most adventurous.
Captain Tove, how are things in the wider world?
Hello, Toto.
Fuck me.
Hey y'all, don't worry about me. I thought I'd swing by. It's all good.
Darling, I heard you had an absolute palaver at the Cascara Islands. Is everything all right?
Well, you know how it is. I put the little pot in the big pot. We had a bit of a shindig, and now we're here. Bit richer for it. Although, admittedly, I drank most of my prize money last night, so it's all good.
At this point, Rurik just turns to Bertram and goes, I have no idea what she said. Something about parts going in parts. It was totally beyond me.
I heard drinking.
Yes.
Miss Tove, I don't suppose you would have brought some of the traditional stronger stuff that you have brought in previous years.
Well, you know what they say, and get a very big bottle out and just sort of hands it over and just says, when pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered, and we got some fat pigs today.
I will take your word for it. Bloody hell.
You put it down.
Totally beyond you, darling.
And if you excuse me, gentlemen, I need to see to setting up my particular responsibility.
Oh, not done
tonight.
it yet, Bertie. Falling behind, aren't we?
Absolutely, sir. I intend to give, as I believe you've coined the term, the punters a bit of a show. Come, Lloyd. And I take my assistant over.
Yeah.
And we have arranged for a large barrel of water to be brought to a corner of the ballroom, where it will suddenly, and to the exclamation of guests, be broken, the water spilling out into a corner of the ballroom as Lloyd, Butterworm, and myself ignite the water with various spells, shape water, ray of frost, all that frostbite, all that malarkey, and we create an elegant and ornate skating rink.
Yes.
And we have a set of shoes delivered so that
cool.
if people get sick of dancing, they can have a go making fools of themselves on the skating rink.
So did you say you had one pair of shoes delivered?
Oh no, many shoes.
Okay. I like the idea that only one at a time.
One at a time.
A solo skater goes on. Yeah, make a performance check. Go for it.
Okay. Oh, no, it's not bad. 17.
17. It is quite a spectacular. Again, in the film adaptation of this, the water breaks and then the little ice cubes, a bit like Frozen, essentially. She sort of like, and the little bits of like almost like snowflakes start to appear. And definitely, because this event is open to all the public all the time, so the children get very excited and they start rushing ahead, and the parents are holding them back. And then slowly and surely, quite a number of people do go and try out the ice rink, and some people obviously change back and forth. So you think you've done a particularly good job. You're like, you will be remembered for this.
I turn to Lloyd. Remember, Lloyd, once an hour, shape water on every 5 feet, otherwise it turns to water again. No drinking. We don't want a repeat of last year.
Did you describe who Lloyd is? What they look like? Sorry.
They're essentially a younger me, but they're not related. I've just enforced that they dress similarly.
Oh, I see. Perfect. They're like, yes, brother, yes. Start, making they're like basically. You think of the theme park. They are the teenager sort of chewing gum, letting people in one at a time.
Exactly.
Very good, very good. Rurik, Did you?
Yes, darling.
Thank you, darling. Your experience, your thing. What is it? Are you waiting for a particular moment, or are you?
Well, there is to be a very specific cue when mine begins, darling. Now, you see, for this to work, we must have the grand esteemed lady herself enter, and at that point, a curtain shall fall, revealing a truly marvelous display, led, of course, by yours truly.
Sorry, where is this curtain?
I imagine I've had it installed in the nearest alcove.
In the nearest alcove. Okay, yeah, fair enough. Like, so let's say, just for sake and purposes, is it big? Whatever you're planning, or is it the size of two dwarves?
It's not particularly big. It's just that it's a lot of small things.
Oh Jesus. Okay.
So it's probably about as big as 40 small things would be.
Oh my God. Okay, so on the mezzanine floor, there off to one side, there is a curtain prepared. Maybe you go round every so often and just check it, and then maybe you check it. It's still there. It looks pretty good still.
I poke my head in and go, steady on, lads, steady on.
I can't wait. But she has not arrived yet. Again, you did talk about this before, and you were saying like, well, get the punters sort of talking and dancing a bit, and then make the grand arrival where she would address her townsfolk and stuff, and do a big speech and stuff. But she's not here yet. Again, as you know, out of the three of you, fashionably late is on time. So, yeah.
And on time is the new early.
Exactly. Captain Tove, what have you brought to this ballroom? What is your thing?
So whilst all this is going on, Tove and her 4 sort of very young, dressed as sort of sea hands, sea dogs, very sort of, like raring for a fight, like young sort of adolescents at best, have been installing what appears to be a large fountain on the middle of the gift table. It is essentially a large silver bowl with several other smaller bowls on it. Tove goes up to the middle of it, sort of awkwardly climbs up very, very undexterously to the top. And from a very small special crystal decanter, she sort of says an incantation, clicks it open, and pours it upside down at the top. And the thing starts flowing rum, and it just never stops. So it just keeps going and going and going and creates a rum fountain that she brings all the assistants to and goes, right, now, here's the thing. This ain't my first rodeo. This party is going to die a death if everyone here ain't rat-assed. So what I need you to do, and she hands out 4 like small pitchers and just fills one up and gives them to each of the now you need to go and you need to make sure everyone has their fair share of rum. I don't want a sober eye in the house. This has got to be a proper hootenanny. Yeah? You see that? And I point over towards Lloyd. Now he needs to get especially drunk. I need you to target him. Can I guarantee that?
Aye, Captain. They're always bloody children who are dressed up like really smart. They are super hyped that you've given them such a big responsibility. 1 or 2 of them have already had a cheeky nip, again having the red cheeks, and they're like,
oh yeah, you sample as you want. Now, don't forget your actual job. I was in charge of niddles at this drink, this sort of hootenanny. Now, I didn't bring any because I don't want anyone eating and getting rid of this beautiful rum glow. So if you see any food, you hide it. You hear me? You hide it.
Hide food, give rum, get everyone rat-assed. Yeah.
All right, you'll be good.
All right, and then they all peel off in 4 different directions and start circling around the dance floor. Just make a performance check for me, Ryan.
Performance?
Yeah.
Hang on, where's my thing? Oh, that's not going to be very good. That is a 6.
6. Okay. The children, it's a bit difficult because they are so eager. They're like, take this drink. Ew, it's party. And they're like, oh God, children. Ah. so, but they are trying. It's the aggressive party goer, like getting people to drink. It might take some time to get everyone completely rat-assed, though.
It's all right. Listen, playing the long game. It's all good.
Exactly. So the party starts to pick up. Like, people are dancing, people are skating. The umpire band, they're doing their various sort of like umpapa, and doing various sort of jingles and stuff. People are making their way around the mezzanine thing, looking at the paintings. A couple of people are out in the hall admiring. Again, I didn't quite describe it, but then this place as well, if you imagine sort of I can't remember the names of these sort of stairs, but the stairs at the top where it comes down into sort of 2 spirals and it comes down. So that anyway, so it goes up to the second floor where Lord and Lady Ashenroot, that's where their homes would be and that's where their offices would be. In the entrance hall itself, if you care to step out, obviously there's a couple of people with their pipes because they know it's a no smoking zone in the ballroom. But in the entrance hall, it's totally fine. There are many different statues and many different hunting trophies as well. You've got statues of bears and you've got owls and stuff like that. Various sort of stuffed things. And in particular, and it would have greeted you on the way in, this huge stuffed owl bear. So the way it's sort of sat, it's not a great job, but for some reason, the Lord and Lady keep it here. But it's sort of like, if you imagine it sat very snowy, sort of big yellow eyes stuffed, and the beak sort of like happy like that, and around it sort of a tag, and on it says Hootie on it. I mean,
do you think it would be part of the like bad taxidermy Facebook group? Have you seen those pictures?
1,000%. Yes, definitely. One arm, one wing is definitely in a weird position.
Yeah.
Like almost like if it's like this, so like its palm is out, so people could put keys on it, perhaps. That's sort of horrific. Like no owlbear arm should be like that. But yeah, all this place is covered in statues and stuffed taxidermy stuff, and then going in, you just have these paintings onto the mezzanine floor. The party starts going, and you get to maybe 1 hour into it, 2 hour into it, no sign of Lady Ashenroot, and people are enjoying it. I mean, it's free drink, no food in sight, but free drink. Lloyd, after maybe 1 or 2 hours, is like getting a bit lazy, a bit sloppy with the ice ring. Every so often, it's like, no, sorry, no. Sort of doing
Lloyd,
Bertram.
have you been drinking?
No, Bertram. No, I may have had a little tipple.
Do I believe him?
Make an insight check.
Fiona, I would like to say that whenever Bertie isn't looking, Rurik is actively giving Lloyd more drink.
Perfect.
Only a 10.
10. He looks a bit under the weather. But, it's Lloyd. Like, it's very hard to read Lloyd at the best of times. He's practically you. You
Lloyd, come here. I cast Lesser Restoration on him to remove poisoning with one hand, and then I smack him round the head with the other hand. Stop drinking.
I can't help it. You've got the children, and then Mr. Rurik. They're trying to be my friends.
The trick, my dear, is to not bring the bottle to one's lips.
Oh, I see.
Don't let alcohol touch your lips again, for I freeze them together. And I walk away.
The minute
Again.
he walks away, Rurik just appears, arm round Lloyd. Darling, only judges are sober and no one likes judges. Have a drink.
Make a persuasion check, but with disadvantage.
It's a 19 and a 17.
He sort of takes the drink from you. Well, you only live once. Starts drinking.
Just walk away. You suddenly will. Bye, darling.
I will sneak via Captain Tove's whiskey fountain
Yeah.
at a point when it's most busy.
It's getting there, yeah.
And I am going to cast Prestidigitation, but with a sorcery point to make it subtle, removing semantic or visual components, so I just walk past it and don't make a move.
Okay.
And I am going to make it taste. I'm going to change the taste of 1 cubic volume of this to taste like 15-year-old black licorice.
That is a very particular taste.
I had to think of the word mixed with vinegar.
Oh.
So, sambuca laced with vinegar.
Okay.
So anything with sambuca in it.
Yeah. Again, people are starting to drink it, and Captain Toby, you will see this. People are going, oh, they still drink it because it's free. And as we all know, dwarves like a good bargain. But yeah, there's definitely a struggle, and it's not being used as much.
I have maybe underestimated the ability for my kin to drink anything.
Eventually, if she does notice,
Yes.
she'll literally just take the bottom bowl and then walk out the door and then just chuck it into the garden and then just put it back and the thing will fill itself up again.
Perfect. Yeah, you do it and you start doing it. Make a perception check whilst you're outside.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, we're supposed to be looking for the...
I'm sorry. Yeah, we're having a great time. 19.
A 19. As you're outside, you're pouring out this whatever this is, and like the heat, not the heat of it, but definitely like I guess the vinegar of it is eating away at the ice and the snow. So that
yeah.
But as you look up, this view over Halderon Hill and the lights, the twinkling, and you can see now it's just starting to snow as well. Oh. And you take a moment, again, that sort of idea of holding a picture frame up and you're like, maybe in your head, you're like, take it. But yeah, you don't see anyone else outside. You don't see anyone sort of milling about. Everyone's still inside smoking their pipes in the entrance hall. But although the townsfolk are warm and they're happy to go outside, they're like, no, the party's just there. No need to go too far.
Oh, well, I won't hang around too long then.
Okay, you head back on in.
Yeah.
As you are heading back in, the small child from before is Captain Tovey.
What's wrong there?
There's a problem with... And he shows you like an inventory. Again, you vaguely remember this at some council meeting that all three of you poured over, like, well, we need this many goblets, we need to pay the umpire band this, etc., and all that sort of thing. And he goes, this has arrived, and points to the bottom, and it says, at the bottom of this inventory, it says, miscellaneous portrait of King Ashenroot. It's in one of the private rooms. Do you want it hanged somewhere, or it's very disturbing?
Oh, really? No, when did this arrive?
It arrived just before the party, but obviously you were all busy doing your entrances and then socializing and stuff. I didn't know what to. And then you can see, like, again, he's trying to say these things, but obviously he went off to drink whatever you gave him.
Whoa there. Okay, right. Okay, do we know who ordered it?
It's not signed for or anything. It just appeared on the inventory and it's just arrived.
All right. Well, why don't you show me this and we'll go take a look.
Okay. And takes you back into the ballroom again. It's now full swing. The umpa band. There's the smell of the sort of the roaring fire of the heat and stuff was off from one side. The other two, you clock this as well. You see Captain Tovey and the small sort of trumpet child moving their way into one of the sort of alcoves on the sort of west side. And the kid opens the door, ushers Captain Tovey in, and then shuts it behind them.
I turn to Lloyd and then make follow.
Wait, are you telling Lloyd to go with you?
No, I'm keeping my eye on him.
All right. Lloyd has not moved from his spot. It's almost as if he's frozen himself there.
It is likely that has happened.
So we've seen Tovey go into the other room with the boy looking and give us the...
Well, and I don't know if Captain Tovey did. Like the boy was just getting them in, but it's again that sort of thing. Well, if one council member is being concerned, then you all should be concerned. Yeah.
And the Grand Champion, Vizier Roic Baldic Stracco, Guardian of the Royal Swans, turns to the lovely dwarves that he's entertaining and goes, and that was when I slept with the King and Queen of Frostwale simultaneously. If you'll excuse me, business calls. And with a flourish, heads towards the room.
You just hear, like, behind you, he's so dreamy. Like a random dwarf says that. Okay, so you two sort of meet on the outside of this room, I'll say. Are you both just going to go straight in?
30.
Let's see what the great esteemed captain is up to. The child.
I have a talent for opening doors. I'm just going to kick the door.
No, we have insurance, but... Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Captain Tovey, you come into this room, and there's a beautiful sort of side room. I think sort of period manor house drama sort of thing. You've got it. It's very nice. Lots of chaise lounge dotted about. And in the front, you see what looks like an easel has been sort of plopped in the middle of the room, and on it looks like hidden by a cover, looks like a 6 foot by sort of maybe 8 foot tall something. You assume it's a painting of some sort, but it is currently covered.
Oh wow, so big, quite tall.
Huge.
absolutely huge. And the easel is as big to try and hold the thing.
The easel is like low to the ground, so that obviously you can pull it off, but it's not under the weight or anything. Whatever this thing is clearly quite light, a canvas of some sort, but again, it is just massive.
And it looks thin, like there's a back to it. It looks like it is a canvas from the other side, and then obviously there's a sheet. And
you maybe walk your way around. Maybe, I don't know, not getting too close. I don't know. Looks like a canvas from here.
I wouldn't be necessarily fearful at this, so I mean, I'm going to go up to it and go, "Oh, have you seen underneath?"
No. I just got told to bring it in here and to alert the council members. And as the kid says, council members, the door bursts open. Grand Vizier, could you roll for me? I don't know, a kick roll, an attack roll on the door, because it's made of mirror.
14. Just my strength, right?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, 15.
Okay, so roll a d4 of damage.
4.
Where your foot has hit the door, because you probably kicked it at quite a not necessarily high, but like straight. There is definitely a spider cobweb effect as your foot heel has sort of impacted, and there's the sound of tinkling like glass and so like a crack, and all the people around them like, holy shit! Oh, he's just kicked in a door. What a guy! That's a. But you've done some damage to the ballroom, just FYI. So,
does the door open?
Yeah, the door's open.
Right, then
it's definitely open.
I enter in the way that I've entered every single room
of course.
For the last 60 years. And go, hello, darlings.
You know quite how many forms I have to fill in for every time you do that.
You both see Captain Tove and the small trumpet child around this easel.
Thank goodness he made an effort. I mean, normally I wouldn't hear the man. He's so subtle.
You see the same thing, this portrait, this painting under a sheet.
There's a random delivery seems to have made his way of our esteemed lord. Arrived today. Bit odd.
My, that's so very big and wide and strong. You know all about that, wouldn't you, Bertie?
Oh, God. Do we know who sent this strange item?
Alas, we do not.
Boy.
Me?
Yes. This little thing, darling. Where did it come from?
It was just signed for by one of the staff, and no one's looked at it because, well, and the boy sort of leans close. Well, Lady Validia, she's a bit, gets a bit sad when she sees a portrait of him. But maybe people thought this would be nice to hold in the hall, like a memorial thing. I don't know. I'm only a small child that plays a trumpet.
Go and fetch the one who's signed for this.
I could definitely do that. Oh, and wanders out, trumpet like crashing along the ground, running away, leaving the three of you with this painting.
As soon as the kid leaves, I look to the others and go, now, you gonna keep a lady waiting, or are we gonna take a look at this thing?
Oh, darling, we are absolutely taking a look at this thing.
All right, stop woofing it up.
Okay, so you woof off the thing, and you see again a beautiful. The thing that catches your eye, this golden, hideous frame. Again, you've seen the frames in like Tate Britain and Tate Modern. Not Tate Modern because they're too modern, but the Tate Britain, like sort of the horrible golden frames of like the proper sort of Renaissance era. That's the thing that catches your eye first. And at the bottom, there's a plaque that says like Lord Ashenroot, long may he reign, that sort of thing. And then it is like the top half of a painting. Again, a huge, beautiful sort of powerfully built body, various stripes and stuff in all the Ashenroot golden and sort of purpley and green crest colours, big sort of sigil on the side. But then the top quarter of this painting, it stuns the three of you because there's no face. There's nothing here. Like, they've got his hair-ish. It's sort of a bit wizzly out the way. You remember a few grey streaks in it, and the beard is sort of there, like the bottom part of it. No features, nothing. It looks like this painting is unfinished.
Yeah,
Well, we absolutely cannot hang this. It's a travesty.
Half done.
Captain, I kicked in a perfectly good door for this.
Yes.
I'm deeply, deeply disappointed.
I'm sorry, says the DM.
that entrance was gold.
1 second, gentlemen. Let me just check if there's more here than meets the eye. I'll bring out like a stopwatch. No, not stopwatch, but like a clock. What are they called? Pocket watch.
Mm-hmm.
Very ornate. And place it in my hands, look at the thing, and it begins to glow, and I cast Detect Magic.
Nice. So that's within 30 feet of you, and it can't be penetrated by this and the other. I know we use it every bloody week, and I never remember because I don't have to use it. It's fine. So your watch, a bit like the alethiometer, starts to go back and forth, ticking and stuff, landing on certain numerals and stuff. This painting is not magical. Nothing about it. There's nothing hidden. You maybe check in case there's like glyphs of warding or anything like that in the frame. Maybe check the back of it. Maybe I like the idea you running the pocket watch over things in case it beeps. Nothing. And the room itself as well is clear.
And it genuinely looks just like an unfinished painting. No, not that it's been changed or someone's painted over it. Like it's just
make a perception check. Make a perception check.
14.
14. It just looks unfinished. Like this portrait is gorgeous. Like the oils on it, and maybe it's not wet, but like you can tell there's texture there. It just looks unfinished.
Well, I mean, it just looks like a painting.
Yes, well, we obviously can't show it. Well, I say we cover it back up and we think about it later.
Yes. Let's not trouble milady with it tonight.
No, in fact, the fact that it's missing a face is rather ghastly. And in poor form, if you ask me.
At this point, you hear something like as the sound of a trumpet is making its way across the ground, and a child appears with what looks like a sort of a dwarven woman kitchen staff. You can see the great big sort of apron. She sort of, and she looks, and she comes in and goes, council members, thank you so much. Sorry, I signed for it earlier, and wow, I was sort of staring at it like. Well, I didn't expect that. It just said a portrait for the king, for the lord, even.
Tell me, you signed for this from someone, yes?
I did. It's from the lady's cousin, the Gold Clan. They said like the notes, and she pulls out of her pocket like a very greasy covered note. Clearly, she's just put it away whilst being signed for. Yeah, they said to cheer you up. Here is a reminder of your beloved. Long may he reign. And I mean, it's a gift. I guess you have to give it to her at some point, but no features. That's really, really poor taste, actually.
What do we know of family relations between Lady Ashenroot and her cousins?
Make a history check.
Ooh, not good at those. Nope. 9.
I mean, dwarves have loads of cousins, really. This is probably one of many. She's on good terms with people. Like, this clearly was a good gesture. Like, you don't think it's like it's just maybe poorly executed. A big faux pas.
I would like to take a look at this painting and see if there's any sign that it's been tampered with.
Okay. You can do a perception check with advantage because Tove's already done that, but sure.
So she has.
Yeah.
Well, it's a bloody high one.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be a 23.
A 23. Okay, so you do look around again. You proper do what Rurik does best, like proper, like really close. Maybe get out like several little monocles all at once, looking around the frame, testing the back of it. You find nothing.
You're right, Tove. Adventuring hasn't scrambled your brains.
I mean, you no need to mansplain this to me. It's all right.
Sorry. So mansplaining is when
the small boy chirps up and goes, well, you could always just fix it, though. Like, you all remember what Lord Ashenroot looks like, right?
I mean, I'm no painter myself.
Yeah.
I couldn't put an apple in a hog's mouth.
I, for one, am extraordinarily talented.
I drink. Now this I gotta see.
However,
Yes.
I'd rather do like my head attached to my shoulders.
And the boy brings out some parchment. Well, you could all draw, and then you pick the best, and then whoever that is draws that.
Well, it's certainly an idea. Oh, come on, Bertie. Oh, do you want to have a bit of fun?
So, as Ryan's now realised it, I want all
I'm
three
like
of you.
2 seconds behind. I'm so sorry. I
You
know
have-
exactly what you mean.
You have 2 minutes, all three of you, to draw what you think Lord Ashenroot looks like.
Remind us of the description of him.
I said he had a beard
Okay.
and some whizzy hair. I'll put 2 minutes on the clock, shall I?
Hair's already in place, isn't it?
Yeah, but you're not just gonna draw random eyes and nose and stuff. And then
So
I've already messed up.
2 minutes on the clock. It's going. Some quiet time for teacher.
This is a good trick, Fiona. Why bother prepping for a DMing session when you can just get your players to do some drawing?
1 minute 30.
Jesus.
What's good is I know Sam doesn't have his iPad.
what's good is that I can't draw to save my life. What was it?
1 minute gone.
Oh, no, that changed, yeah.
30 seconds. As my art teacher always used to say, that is just a happy accident.
Yeah. It's like Bob Ross says.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just a happy little tree. That's where it needs to be. It's not worrying about itself or its identity. It's just there. How do you draw ears?
All right, 5, 4, 3.
Like in The Simpsons, it's like he does a G, doesn't he? Or like what's the letter that they do on Simpsons?
Too late. Your
It's like a
time
G.
is up.
Is it a G?
Your time is up. Pencils down. Council members.
No.
Council members.
I think I
Time
did it
is
the
up.
wrong way around.
Doesn't
Time
matter,
is
Ryan.
up.
Time is up.
Time is up. So, let's start with. Well, we'll go in order, shall we? So, Grand Champion Vizier Rurik, can you please show your work to the class? Jeez. It's just a man with a beard.
Can you take a picture of it and put it on WhatsApp?
Yeah.
Take a picture.
That might be.
I might be a bit better. Just like it's the
just trying to-
nose.
Right?
Yeah, no, I know, but it's just the nose. Like they look like little tunnels. Yeah. Stupid. So stupid.
Oh my goodness, that's awesome.
Big lips.
He's a dwarf.
Proud
He's a
lips.
dwarf. That
Oh, he's
is
a dwarf. Oh yeah, whoops.
okay. Bertram, can you share your class?
Of course. I'll
Can I just say, Grand Champion Visage, this man has no eyelids or eyebrows.
Okay. You see, darling, he lost them in a battle. It was very heroic.
Did he know?
I'll just show this. It took me, the whole 2 minutes.
No. What did you do?
No, I'm sharing it. I'm sharing it. It's coming up. I've got crap internet here in Norfolk.
He's still doing it.
It's still doing it. Yeah,
He's still doing it.
doing the
No, it's still drawing.
doing the shading.
No, it's still loading.
Oh, all right. Fuck off, Sam.
Oh. No.
I love the eyebrows.
No.
The eyebrows are great.
No.
I'm
Okay,
stealing. I'm stealing those power brows.
That he drew that before. He's not having that one. That's not.
I'll share the actual thing.
Yeah, the actual one. But that picture is amazing, Sam. I will say.
Totally stealing those power brows.
Ryan, are you still drawing?
He's
Yes.
doing the power brows.
Ryan, you're not allowed to keep drawing.
When you see mine, you will say, "Why didn't you keep drawing?"
Oh,
Okay,
man.
it's uploading. There we go.
Oh my god, that's actually
Wow,
good.
that's really good. With the power brows as well. I love it.
Yeah,
Some of
power
the
brows.
eyebrows of the dwarves.
Power brows of the dwarves. Very good. Very, very nice. All right. And then Captain Tove. Let's
Sure,
see.
we can just call it a night now if you want.
No, I'm keen. You gotta share with the class.
Hard to beat David's soul driving stare.
Too much caffeine.
I mean, everyone knows that the Lord was a big fan of caffeine.
Shaving his eyebrows.
The eyebrows really complete it.
Fucking G just on his ear.
I forgot about head proportion. That was my first issue. I realised I'd done the eyes like where someone's forehead are.
Oh, it's so good.
Sorry. It's like a potato.
I'm not even joking. That's actually one of the best drawings I've ever done. Like that's actually really good for me.
So the three
2
of
minutes.
you, so the three of you have quickly drawn together, and you've all stood back and admired your work. Together, you three now need to pick one to transcribe onto this painting.
Darlings, I think that Captain Tove has absolutely blown it out of the park.
I think without question that is undoubtedly the answer, yes.
I think what we should do is we should make sure that that is transcribed on and then write at the bottom, face by Captain Tove.
Yeah, I think that would be a look-hard suit. I like that.
All right,
You're now the greatly esteemed Captain Lady of Wine and the illustrious artist.
Captain Tove, I would like you to do a sleight of hand check with advantage, because you've got the backing of the council.
Sleight of hand with advantage. That's okay.
I will use my bastion of order to make that a straight roll.
There's one roll.
Someone wants a smiting. That's what I say. Okay, with a straight roll, that is a whopping 7. Let's just see, with advantage, natural 20. So, you know.
I take it back.
No,
I
no,
take
no,
it
no,
No, you don't.
No.
So what happens? Captain Tove gets the quill and literally does it in one swoop and goes,
It looks identical to this, effectively. It's that
Yeah.
standard.
it's that standard. I mean, when you squint and if you back out of the room and close the door, it looks like Lord Ashenroot.
Rurik
Yeah.
is laughing so much, but trying not to laugh, that he's actually weeping.
Bertram hasn't smiled in 5 years, but there's a tinge in the corner.
But you have passed, sort of, the Lord Ashenroot portrait challenge. I guess,
Sorry, Ryan.
and I guess you
I
just
won. What are you talking about?
yeah, you won. You've won something.
What
So-
have you won?
So you could probably cover up the portrait. Do you leave it in the room? Do you take it out to where all the other gifts are?
Hell yeah! It's complete and
Yep.
apart now. That I've solved everything.
You've solved it.
I've
Yeah.
had a lot of rum by this point. I'm not gonna lie.
No, exactly. You think you fucking did it. These two chuckleheads. So yeah,
Glass
you
ceilings are only broken if you chuck paintings at them. That's what you got to remember.
exactly so.
And to be fair, before this point, I was actually going to use mending to fix the glass door. But now I'm so proud of myself. As I'm hurling this painting out, I kicked the door myself on the way, just as like a second step.
Roll an attack.
22.
Oh yeah, it's roll the d4.
Oh,
You've broken that whole bottom panel. Your foot goes through it.
hell yeah.
So you
Quite
put,
a little finesse, darling.
you put the painting up. Is it still covered, or you bring it out for everyone to see?
I can't reach. I couldn't possibly put the cover on if I tried. I'm 4.5 feet tall.
No, fair enough. You pull, you probably drag it along the ground at this point, set it up right way, and then you're like, it's the wrong way round. So you,
I mean, surely Rurik's helping me. He seems like a man of action.
Rurik,
I want nothing to do with this painting. I'm stood back with Bertie, elbowing him, going, I thought tonight was going to be boring.
Certainly not bad.
So this painting gets dragged, and the way you're doing it, Captain Toby, obviously you've given up caring. You're like, I've done it. It's dragging along the floor, and it's like as you're doing it. People are stopping to watch, and you write it, and then people are coming over to look at it, and they're just like, I mean, it kind of looks like it because they have all drunk exactly the same as you.
It's a plan coming together now.
It's all coming together.
I at an opportune moment, I will try and subtly cast prestidigitation and make a colour small mark or symbol appear on an object. And can I stretch that to just completely changing the face?
What are you changing the face to?
To attempt to make it better, but I will accidentally make it worse.
If you do that, Tove turns around, looks at you, and stares at you, and reveals the hammer on her side and cocks her head.
I stop holding my clockwork up. I just felt the ears could do... No, you're right.
Nah.
It's fine. I'm sorry, Captain.
This is perfection.
It is certainly that, darling.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. Yes, no, it was presumptuous of me. One cannot fix true art.
That's exactly what I thought.
Can only admire.
Can only admire.
Yes.
Thank you so much for listening, and come back for part 2. Don't forget you can check out Ryan's Civ 6 channel on YouTube and on Discord. That's Ursa Ryan on YouTube and the Ursa Ryan Discord. You can come find me and pretty much the other 3 co-hosts at this point on several different episodes of What Am I Rolling, a twice-monthly RPG one-shot podcast. Available on the What Am I Rolling website and wherever you listen to podcasts. I'm hopefully going to be starting up our own official Discord server for both What Am I Rolling and the DM's Book Club, along with a Patreon, so do keep your eyes peeled for that. Thanks again, and we'll speak, hear, listen to you soon. I'll never get this right, but thank you so much for listening, and see you later. Bye!